Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. My name, Jake. You are not really frozen.
I'm just kidding.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh, man.
It was a Valentine's Day joke.
That was a good joke. Hi, everybody.
Sorry.
Welcome to the show. We are celebrating 5 years still.
Okay.
We did the big anniversary show last week, but now it's going to keep going because I just want to celebrate with you guys. I'm excited about it. So, but we not every week can have all the fun and the merch and the giveaways. I mean, we still have a lot going on, but this is going to be some classic YHS today. That's my prediction. That's what I'm excited about.
Well, the thing is, you say that every week can't be something big and special and everything, but we got a Justice League trailer this week.
Oh, there we go. It's going to be big and special.
It is going to be.
It's going to be big and special.
Wow. I can't wait.
We've all seen the trailer. We're going to talk about it here shortly. Now, listen, before we go any further, I do want to thank everybody who did tune in for our big anniversary show last week. It's still available on YouTube. It will be available. I'm not taking it down. So if you haven't checked it out, it was a ton of fun. And thank you, everybody who tuned in, who bought our first ever Space Danger merch drop, the Companion Ghost. Abby, what did you think of the anniversary show?
Oh, I thought I've watched it. Like myself, I've watched it since on the big screen TV, which isn't something I always do.
Hold on. Why are you so much lower than? Look at this.
Is this the time to be discussing it? Yeah,
I
sure.
feel like you're low.
You want me to get even lower? Because I will.
Oh my god.
For the visual.
Please don't. There we go.
Abby, you just need to stand the whole time.
There you go. Perfect.
Should I go stand in the corner?
Like Blair Witch.
Blair Witch corner.
Abby.
Yes.
5 years. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm still having trouble getting my mic up after 5 years, but thank you. Congratulations to all of us.
Yeah, it was good. Jake, what'd you think? It was fun to have you up here for the show. It was good stuff, exciting stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It was fun. It was a very special episode, and it felt that way. It was nice to have a bunch of people tell us how great we are, and
yes,
it was really fun having Troy and Ryan and John to just talk about memories and stuff. That was just really fun, and I feel like maybe we should have people on a little more often.
We should have our friends on, but the thing is, we talk so much that it's hard to give them the space they need.
And your mom's
we'll give them a time zone and a little space, and we'll say, hey, you come on, you can make us look good for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
at the very end.
Then you gotta go. What were we gonna say about moms?
That your mom stopped listening when we had guests come on.
Yeah, my mom actually called me and said I watched until Troy and Ryan and John joined, and then I stopped watching. So. No offense to them, but listen, my mom is only invested in the core, the core three.
Yeah, we're her children.
But before we get rolling, I do want to let everybody know that YHS is available on all iTunes, Spotify, podcast apps, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure that you're subscribing, leaving those reviews. We've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm just going to keep saying we cannot tell you how much we appreciate your listenership and your companionship. I don't know. Do we have companions? I feel like we do.
Yeah. I think this might be a good time, actually, for me, if we're appreciating people.
Oh, what do you got there?
I made a Valentine's Day card for our listeners.
Okay.
Out of Attack of the Clones foil Valentines.
Okay, so actual vintage Valentines?
Yeah, I'm actually a very gifted card maker and writer. So I wanted to actually write. Well, my original idea was to send these to people.
Okay.
But it's Valentine's Day today, so
for our audio listeners, can you describe what's on there? What are we seeing here?
Foil cutout cards.
Yes.
Anakin Skywalker, Padme Amidala, Yoda. The Padme says, "Take care of yourself on Valentine's Day." Anakin says,
"What is that supposed to be? Take care of yourself."
I don't know, but that almost made me cry. Imagining her telling me to take care, that just seems nice.
Because I wasn't taking care of childbirth.
Before you read your Valentines, let's go through these.
Anakin says, "Wishing you'll be a chosen one on Valentine's Day." Because he's so cool.
Because he's the chosen one. He's like, I wish you were too.
In many ways, I'm better than you.
He's saying, I wish I wasn't the chosen one. Take this burden away from me.
Yeah.
I would like to have a connection with another human being. Okay.
All right. Yoda says, "A happy Valentine's Day you will have. May the Force be with you."
Classic.
Typical Yoda.
R2-D2 writes, "Hope your Valentine's Day is filled with surprises. Kind of basic. C-3PO, I'm certain you'll find a splendid counterpart this Valentine's Day. Hopeful.
He has.
Jango Fett, always a pleasure to be your Valentine.
There's no way that
Jango
Jango Fett
Fett
would say that.
Yeah.
No.
He had somebody else write that. Or like he used a stock card.
No, he had
He had
his
a
son.
ghostwriter.
Yeah, he had Boba Fett write that.
Yeah.
Dad,
Hallmark.
what should I make on your Valentine? I don't care.
I don't care. Always a pleasure, Dad.
Just write it.
Okay, but I wrote an actual little love letter.
Wait,
to
hold
her.
on. Jango Fett should be. Jango Fett should be. I feel like my love is doubled, of infinity, and cloned.
No, it should be losing my head for you, Valentine.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, Jake's was better than me. Mine was I'm trying to do a clone joke.
My love for you is replicating and splitting like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
molecular. Okay.
Oh, how about this one? How about this one? It should be
You Camino so much to me.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Cypher-Dias.
I'm trying to do something with midichlorians, but I don't have it.
The blood I poured from you as I slit my throat is filled with midichlorians. I want no other on Valentine. Have we hijacked your segment?
My midichlorian
that's a
count
gross
is
one.
much lower without you. Okay.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's actually a good one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
so
I think
hey,
I'll put
how
that
about-
one on a card. How about I read this?
Wait, how about this one? How about this one? Girl, you're my Naboo.
Okay.
Abby, go ahead and read that.
All right, to you, our listeners, from me, Abby. Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Even though this is a bullshit made-up holiday, I wanted to use
Thank
it
you.
as a reminder. So here I am reminding you that you are loved today and every day by Craig, Jake, and myself. Even if you like Transformers, we'll just talk about you behind your back. JK, love you. In closing, I'd like to say, please buy yourself a toy today. And if you can't do that, watch a good movie. Like Padme says, take care of yourself on Valentine's Day. Love, Ab.
Ah, that was really sweet.
Thank you.
I
Thank
like
you.
the rhyming.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank you. I am, like I said, gifted at giving cards. I've
Now-
been known to bring a family member
Yeah.
to their knees crying.
I actually wrote a little Valentine's Day poem too. There once
Okay.
was a droid from Nantucket.
Okay. From Naboo.
There once was a droid from Naboo. He went around town with no clue.
Okay.
He found a Jedi.
And said, choo choo.
This is awful. This is the worst segment in
you-
YHS history.
Yeah, what
Following
are you
the
doing?
best-
It's like
We did a
don't
really
try
good
to
thing.
out leprechaun the leprechaun.
There you go. There you go. No, don't shine those shoes.
Yeah. You can't fill them. You can't clean them.
There once was a boy who hated sand.
Okay. He wanted everything smooth.
Yes.
Okay.
It was coarse, you see.
We should move past this part.
We should move past this part. I had a whole
Yeah.
poem about Shmi
didn't,
getting
though.
kidnapped by the sand people and the slaughtering, not just the men, the women and the children too.
There is no Shmi without you.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm sure that exists
We're
somewhere.
done.
Write
Okay.
that down.
Done.
Sell that to Lucasfilm
That's
for
Yes.
really
$1
good.
million.
God, they don't
Dude,
know what
you
they're
could be
missing.
like, remember in Mr. Deeds, like he was a Hallmark card writer. That was his job. We should write prequel era Valentine's Day cards for a living.
Yeah.
Let's do
We
it.
just
did it. We just did it.
We'll join up with Tatooine Traders Company. They do all
Your
those
name
little
must
shirts,
be
yeah.
Django, because. Okay. All right.
You're pretty fetching.
God, you guys are so much better than I. I literally, like, on paper, I should be much better at this than both of you, but
Yeah.
I'm fucking failing.
Yeah.
So there we go.
You're doing
Well,
well.
I gave out a lot of Valentines as a kid, and mostly to my brother and parents because I was homeschooled. But
Now-
I did a lot of it.
Valentine's Day is always tough for me. In high school, they would do this thing like fundraisers where people would buy roses for people and get them delivered in class. And I don't know about you guys, but I never was the recipient of a flower or a rose. Not even like from my
No,
parents.
No,
You didn't get one
Yeah.
either?
my dad brought me roses once.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was to my job at Ruby Tuesdays. It wasn't like
Why is that
at
so funny?
school or anything.
Well, yeah. So fuck school.
might have gotten
fuck
me some, like,
Valentine's Day.
freshman year.
I like when people are like, I like when you're like, oh, it's just a made up holiday. Like they're all kind of made up, aren't they?
They're
Yeah.
all made up, yeah.
Right. But the special,
Except
But
for
none
Halloween.
of. Well, I was gonna say, well, Halloween's the only one that's like,
cool.
I don't know,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only one worth celebrating.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun, Abby. Thank you so much for your Valentines. And if you can come up with any of your own prequel Star Wars era Valentine rhymes, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah.
I bet Austin Young will.
Like, send us all the.
Yeah, we'll read them next week. We'll read them next week.
Yeah. We'll pick the best ones and
Yeah.
we'll send you nothing.
We'll pick the best one and we'll produce a limited edition
release
Valentine's Day shirt next year.
And we'll
That's
profit.
That's a funny idea.
Yeah, we'll do that. It's the 1 year in the making Valentine's Day Star Wars reference shirt contest. And we've been planning this, like everything else we do, for a while.
Very long time.
But seriously, happy Valentine's Day. Happy weekend. Tomorrow's actually President's Day, so it's very rare you get back-to-back holidays. And listen, if you thought you couldn't get bigger than Valentine's Day, President's
Couldn't
Day.
get any more romantic.
Oh man, I love you, a George Washington.
Yeah, let's not do this.
We're not doing this anymore. We're not doing it anymore.
Not for President's Day.
Okay.
I don't have enough stock
Okay.
to do President's Day.
I can see Craig's trying to think of another one really quick. Let's just go.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do any for
We're all
Bush.
trying.
All right. By the way, speaking of Bush,
Yeah.
I once again back on a Woodstock '99 kick. I watched all of Bush's set the other night. Last night, we're deep into Limp Bizkit.
How did it happen?
Limp Bizkit is the one who I think they're the ones who kind of shut that whole thing down.
Yeah, they ruined it for everyone. Abby,
they're the ones who kind of fucked it up.
So I want Abby to tell the story. We were watching a Limp Bizkit full concert last night from the last 5 years. Like, pretty recent.
Yeah.
And
okay.
It was uploaded a year ago, but it was definitely filmed somewhere in the
couple
last 5
years ago. Honestly, pretty damn good. Like, they can still put on a show.
They covered a Rage song.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
It was legit good.
But at one point,
Andrew Schaefer is going to be so happy. When
he is. He's going to be happy about this.
At one point near the end of the show,
Yeah, tell the story.
it happens as if it's just like an occurrence that no one anticipated. But essentially, they're playing break stuff, and Fred Durst comes to the front of the stage and witnesses chaos basically in the mosh pit, and becomes very concerned for everyone's welfare and well-being, and
Stops the
show to look down at all of them and say, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Let me see your faces. Let me see your hands." And for the first 10 seconds, I was like, okay, that's cool of him. Like, he's making it a point to, make sure that he cares about people. But then it went on for like 5 solid minutes, and like it felt extremely planned. And I was like, all right, Fred, we get it. You're very sorry about Woodstock 99. You want to make a point that you care about people. But this doesn't make up for it, and it's also like it felt really staged.
He also kept saying, "If you can't take the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen." He said that 5 times. So,
well, that's just a fact. But listen, it kind of.
I agree with that.
I went through a phase where I really liked Limp Bizkit, and I will defend Limp Bizkit to a degree about some things, but the fact that he stopped. He did that during Break Stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't write a song called Break Stuff.
No.
And then stop it and be like, "Are you okay?"
Break.
Just play the fucking... Ask him after. Like,
how are y'all doing?
Like, the bridge isn't in Break Stuff isn't a refrain called "Put Stuff Back Together Nicely."
Yeah.
Mostly I was upset because I wanted to listen to the whole song because I was dancing.
Dude, when those
in my
alarms start going
stuff.
off and it's just like... It's awesome.
That's maybe my least favorite Limp Bizkit song is Break Stuff.
Yeah,
That's a good way to end the show.
I listen.
Especially when you have a 10-minute performance piece planned for the end where you're going to make sure everyone knows
I want
that you care
to
about
watch
them.
that. Send me that link. I want to watch that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
cool.
pull it up. Let's just react to it live.
Dude, we're slowly, now that we're doing video, we're going to just evolve into Joe Rogan, where it's just us watching YouTube and reacting. And I think that's what people want.
Well, it's just us watching Dave
That's
Matthews
the kind of
open
shit
Woodstock
that gets.
99.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that gets like millions of views.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
guys,
people-
hey, we've been thinking about it.
Yeah, but usually
we need
but the
millions of
thing
views.
Yeah, but hold on though. The thing about it is all those videos. I don't want to say all, but a lot of the videos that I've seen where it's people like reacting to YouTube videos, or it's all fake and it's all shit that they've clearly already seen and like.
Well, that's so we're about to get into it right now. I know people are tuning in for this. We got the Justice League, Zack Snyder cut. What is the official name? Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It's just Zack Snyder's Justice
Now
League.
we're not. We've all seen the trailer. I considered maybe us doing like a reaction, but like it would be. This is going to be better.
It would just be mean. Yeah, let's just do this.
It would just be mean. Now,
That would mean we'd have to watch it again.
No, we're about to. Listen,
I watched it 4 times.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, and so you've watched a 2-minute trailer 4 times, which means you've now seen 0.0000001% of the final 4-hour film. Let's set the stage a little bit, okay? Let's say you're tuning in, because Jake, we found something out recently, and this is one of the points I want to make as we talk about this.
Okay.
The Snyder Cut hysteria, the HBO Max relaunch of this, not relaunch, but the bringing back Zack Snyder to allow him to finish Justice League after all the stuff that happened with the Joss Whedon cut and all of that. We're kind of figuring out a theory that we all had back when we were Ghostbusters is that bring it home.
That was funny.
That the general public actually does, not only do they not care, they don't really know. They don't know about this. Mm-hmm. This is a phenomenon. I want you to explain it because what's happening on Twitter right now is that anytime there's a huge vocal minority of people who are saying this is it, this is what we want, this is fuck Warner Brothers, they should have done this from the beginning, this movie's going to change everything. There are people who think like as soon as this is released it will be the biggest thing ever and they might just cancel the Robert Pattinson movie and move forward with Batfleck. So tell your story because it's interesting.
Well, so I my day job is tattooing, and I had a tattoo this week that was a Joker tattoo, and not just a Joker tattoo, but like 3 Jokers.
The 3 Jokers.
It was, the 3 Joker special. It was, it was
the old 3JS.
It was Heath Ledger's Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, kind of just like all hanging out.
Right.
So did this tattoo, and I asked the guy what he thought of what was happening with the Snyder Cut, and he had no clue what I was talking about.
Right.
He was just clueless. He didn't know what I was saying. And then it was like kind of hard to explain it to him because I was like, "Oh, well, it's the same movie, but it's going to be different because it's going to be it's like it's going to have some of the same stuff, but they're reshooting." And he just didn't get it. He was like, "Is Ben Affleck still Batman in it?" And I was like, "Yes."
But it is hard. It's because
it's confusing.
It is
and
confusing.
Like, it's just weird that this dude loved, like, we talked about other Batman movies and we talked about Jokers and stuff like that, and he was just like, "No, I don't care about Jared Leto's Joker or that stuff." He had no clue.
That was the joke I kept making, is that you should slip the Jared Leto Joker in there on his tattoo, which would be cruel and unethical. But if you did it from like the new trailer. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I straight up asked him, like, what he thought of Jared Leto. Because, he was getting, there's 4 Jokers, and he was getting 3 of them. And I was like, what's up with Jared Leto? And he was just like, I'm not into that. He was like, I wasn't into his I didn't like it. It was weird to him.
And, like, logically, you would think somebody getting a tattoo of 3 Jokers would at least... Yeah. Know about the Snyder Cut and what it was and why it exists and all that, but he didn't. And that kind of leans towards the theory that I've always had, is that this Snyder Cut thing is for a group of fans who really wanted it. It is fan service, and it will exist for better or for worse, and then that'll just be kind of done. Like, Zack Snyder has come out and said Warner Brothers has no interest in going any further with him doing DC movies. And if you look on Twitter today, there are people, 2016 Ghostbusters, Answer the Call. Mm-hmm. I was a huge defender of it. I was very vocal online. I'm seeing the stuff that the Snyder Cut people are doing, and it reminds me of some of the stuff I was doing back then. They'll see Zack Snyder Snyder Cut trending on Twitter, 100,000 tweets, and then they'll screen cap it and be like, "Oh, right, like this isn't going to be the biggest movie of all time." And it's like, well,
taking things out of context.
100,000 people talking about something in a world full of 8 billion isn't really that many. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, I'm just saying it, I don't believe the majority of people know or like really care about this. I really don't. Like, whether it's going to be good or bad, I don't think people
I'm a podcaster, and I still feel like I don't really know about it or understand it. Like, literally, I was kind of dreading talking about it and having to watch it.
I want to kind of take the other side just a little bit, and I don't think it's an awful thing that they're doing this. Like, you know what? If they wanna give a filmmaker money to do his original vision,
right,
and it goes straight to, like, that's kind of a cool thing, but that's not what's the issue here. The issue is just that it's not going to be any better. Like,
right.
It was already trash, and the whole thing. I said something on Twitter today about, like, I just made a funny thing saying, like, hey guys, watch out, there's a train wreck coming. And somebody replied and was like, well, you haven't seen this cut yet.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, okay, yeah, you're right. A different cut of a movie I've already seen is going to change my perspective on an entire DC universe.
Right,
yes.
right.
Everything around.
Right.
Yes. What I was thinking, it's like if you go to an Italian restaurant and you order some lasagna or pasta dish and you send it back because you don't like it, and they were to take it, disassemble it, put the noodles back in water, reboil them, reconstruct them with other shit, it's still going to taste bad if you didn't like the first time. And it's probably going to taste worse after being manipulated in different ways. I just can't imagine it being good.
Well, and listen, go for it, Jake. You're
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I also wonder, I know they're saying it's like 4 hours long or something.
4 hours long, yeah.
I just wonder how much of this is new and how much of it is it's not. I think some people think, like, oh, this is 100% all new.
Well, let's break it down.
But it's not, right?
Well, let's break it down, because I've got some information. I've done a little bit of research. Okay. So basically, this is what happened. Let's go back. Zack Snyder does Batman vs. Superman, comes out, financially does pretty well. The overall feeling is, that maybe wasn't what we were expecting. Little drab, a little dark, but some fans love it. Like, I revisited it recently. We can get to that. I've got some thoughts and feelings about that movie, but we'll get there. So he's going to do Justice League, which is going to be the next installment. So there's Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, then Justice League. Halfway through filming, a combination of things happens. DC, Warner Brothers, is not happy with how filming is going. Also, very unfortunately, very sad, Zack Snyder's daughter unfortunately committed suicide. So the story that we were given at the time was that he left that project to go be with his family, and that is super understandable, commendable, all sorts of stuff. But as we've learned through the years, it kind of seems like maybe he was forced off the project, and then they brought in Joss Whedon to basically Avengers it up. Now, a lot of bad shit has come out about Joss Whedon over the last couple months, and specifically this week.
Especially the last week.
Yeah, like maybe he's, that's a completely different story, whether or not he's a good person and all that shit. And it sounds like he just sucks.
Sounds like he's not. But
sounds like he's a piece of shit. So over the years, Zack Snyder has talked about how his original vision was never seen, and then this internet campaign for release the Snyder Cut. There's an alternate cut of this movie that exists that is the end-all be-all version of Zack Snyder's vision. Well, what we've learned over time is there was some assembled footage, but the movie was not done.
Right. It wasn't like what people thought, where there's just a whole other movie sitting over there.
Exactly.
There was some footage, there was maybe a script, and there were some, like, ideas that got scrapped, basically.
What we know is that it's not 100% like when you watch the Justice League movie that was released, it's not 100% clear, like, what was Zack Snyder's stuff and what was Joss Whedon's stuff. But we do know that over half of that movie was either reshot or done differently. And Zack Snyder has said that none of Joss Whedon's footage, not any of it, is being used in the new Snyder Cut. So in a 4-hour movie, I think it's going to be pretty different. I think the story
how long is the one we got? Like, what?
About
almost
2 hours.
3 hours?
Two and a half, something like that. So I think there's going to be some stuff that remains. Like, clearly you see in the trailer that we saw, there's the Aquaman meeting, and
there is a lot of stuff in the trailer, and even the first trailer they put out, it was like, is any of this new? Like, the first trailer came out.
Jake, you're a little frozen, but we'll figure that out.
We'll keep going.
So it seems like HBO Max Warner Brothers gave Zack Snyder $60-70 million to go back in and do some reshoots, finish this up in the manner that he wanted to do it, and it's going to be released. That we know. A couple weeks from now, the Snyder Cut will exist. What happens going forward, who knows? But now that we've said all that, let's maybe go through some of the trailer. Should we watch the trailer together, like as a group, and kind of take it all in?
Sure.
Maybe that'll help give us a few minutes to take a deep breath here.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back.
So let's do that, and then we'll. Now, do you want me to pause it as we go, or should we just watch it straight through?
Let's just watch it straight through. What do you think?
All right, and then maybe we'll go back
Yeah.
and do some.
Okay.
Highlight some stuff. Okay, cool. Here we go. So here it is, the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder trailer. Here we go.
Uncomfortably long.
That his face is how I feel watching this.
Out in the dark, among the stars.
I know I said I wasn't going to stop it, but I got to say this right now.
It's okay, yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor is one of my least favorite performances of any film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's extremely irritating, and not in an under your skin kind of way.
No,
It's just
it's
like
bad.
annoying.
I think Jesse
Way.
Eisenberg comes across like that to me in everything.
Right, okay.
I hate him as an actor.
Precocious and pretentious.
I got 20 seconds in before stopping it. Okay.
Cool.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Sorry.
The god is dead.
I had a dream. Almost like a premonition. I think there's an attack coming.
My lord, this world will fall.
I need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull and don't wave the red cape at it,
You were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
It will. It has to.
We live in a society where honor is a distant memory.
Isn't that right?
Batman.
All right. Okay. All right. Take it all in. Take a deep breath. My favorite comment today, someone was like, I'm getting major Lord of the Rings vibes from this film. And I was like,
hate that person who said that.
I was like, yeah, because all the effects look like they're from 2002.
Hey, first of all, like the fact that they went, it's ridiculous to me that they took that meme and put it in the movie. Like, why do people do that? Like, they did the same thing with that. I live in a society.
We
as
live in a
meme.
society.
And it,
Yeah.
and it is like a Joker-centric meme.
Right,
It has been
right.
for a long time, and that's so. It instantly reminds me of the Juggernaut saying, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," in X2, and it's just like, or X3, whichever one he's in.
Right.
And, it's stupid. That's
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
It's joyless.
So let's Ab, will you pop your mic just a little bit closer to you?
Oh, just
there you go. There you
Thanks
go.
for telling me.
Okay, let's break it down. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this objectively as possible. Listen, like I just said, I rewatched Batman vs Superman recently, and I
did too.
find there's a lot of the Batman stuff in that movie that I don't mind too much. Like I think Ben Affleck's pretty good as Batman. I like Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I like a lot of the design aesthetic. That's not my issue. Like The Superman story in that movie is, listen, I'm not a hardcore Superman fan, but it is just drab and dark and, as Abby said, joyless.
Joyless.
And
it's like, not to do like the constant restaurant metaphor here, but it's like if you're making a dish and you add garlic to every layer, when you're seasoning, when you're cooking it, when it comes out, you add more garlic. That's kind of how Zack Snyder does like darkness and like overshadowing.
It's garlic.
I want you to continue the restaurant
metaphor. Right. I worked in an Italian restaurant for like 5 years, and that's what I keep referencing.
Right. Later on, I'm going to be like, now we know that there was a Robin in this universe that died by the hands of the Joker, and Abby's going to be like, listen, okay.
When you're making gelato, no. But you know what I mean? If you add it into every layer, that like heavy, sad tone, it's so serious.
Kind of speaking on that, like one of the things that bothers me the most about the DCU is that when I think of the Justice League, now I have always been a Marvel dude, but I've watched some of the Justice League cartoons and read some of the comics and shit. And of course we all know Batman, but when I think of the Justice League, the imagery that comes to mind is this old, like, like it's very colorful and everybody is big. And the difference between DC and Marvel is that, like, DC, a lot of them are like gods. It's like Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Superman. And the visuals that they, used to be the thing you would go with is like, just these big characters that are like, stand for freedom, and it's colorful, and they're all sitting at the Justice League table, and it's like very uplifting looking, and all of this is just gray and brown, and it just looks like mud. It looks like mud, all of it, and nothing gives you any sort of like uplifting feeling about it.
Yeah, there's no like clarity or like light and dark. It's all very muddy and gray.
I don't understand people who say they like that. They're like, people will be like, you know what? I don't like these movies, but I think Zack Snyder is visually a genius. I don't like. I really liked what he did visually with Watchmen. Right. But all of the DC movies look like garbage to me.
I think he's got a staring problem, because whenever his filming style is like slow down and zoom in on something for way too long, and I don't see what you're saying either when people say that at least visually it's stunning.
I think there's a lot of ways, because Batman's my favorite superhero, always has been. Like when I think of my favorite superhero movies, I think immediately Batman 89, The Dark Knight, and Batman Forever even. Like, I love Batman. So this is not, I don't want anybody to think, like, I want to have an objective, smart, maybe a little sarcastic at times, conversation about,
be a little sarcastic,
like, this is not an anti-DC thing. And to echo what Jake was just saying, I don't want movies. It doesn't bring me joy for a movie to not be good. When Man of Steel came out, clearly that was like a different take, a little bit of a darker take on Superman. But Man of Steel, like, I can still watch Man of Steel and enjoy myself. I think there's some good stuff in that movie. One thing though is the beginning of Batman vs Superman, when you do see the perspective of like Bruce Wayne and like what's happening to Metropolis, like Superman is kind of, to me, unredeemable for his actions. Like, and I think that's just a bad path to go down to start off your franchise, basically.
An unlikable Superman. In my opinion, Batman's unlikable too. He's like getting up in the morning, drinking red wine and taking pills just to get through the day. Right. And there's just a sadness about it that doesn't make you like, oh, I love this movie.
But sometimes it's the juxtaposition between Batman and Superman that makes that clash and eventual team up work, but they're both in really not great mental
they're both in gray area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I've seen the first Justice League movie 3 times. Saw it in theaters, saw it once when it was on DVD, and then we rewatched it like 6 months ago. I don't remember. The only thing I remember from that movie is the last scene where like Superman and Flash are like racing each other.
My brain fights to contain it and like keep it. It's like no.
I've talked about it on the show whenever the movie came out, and a few times since. The only thing in that movie that I liked was when Superman was a bad guy, and they're like fighting against Superman. It was the only.
See, I think that was all Joss Whedon.
It was the only time I ever was interested in anything really in those movies, and it was just like, kind of the only way I could even stand watching Superman was like him as a villain beating the shit out of all these other people I don't like. You know? So that was it. But
yeah,
and I went back and rewatched Batman versus Superman recently, and I agree with you about Man of Steel. I think that movie's watchable.
Right.
It's not great, but it's watchable.
The off-world stuff in the beginning is at least like kind of takes you away and is kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I thought, and I've said this so many times on the podcast, but the fatal error made by Warner Brothers is that they wanted to compete with Avengers, they wanted to compete with the MCU, and instead of introducing Superman and then giving him his own sequel and then bringing in a new Batman, letting us get to know Ben Affleck's character for a couple movies and then have an eventual team up, you couldn't sell me on like, oh, this is Superman and Batman. Like, yeah, but I don't care because I don't know this Batman. I just know
it doesn't make
he's got a 40-year backstory that we didn't get to see or whatever. Like
it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, that whole movie doesn't make, like, even when I was rewatching it recently, I know a lot of people like make fun of the whole Martha thing,
right?
And it's like it's become kind of a silly thing, but there's no. He is ready to kill. He's about to kill Superman.
Yeah.
He's going to kill him. Mm-hmm. And when he says Martha, it literally, like, everything, there's no reasoning. It's like, oh, just because he said Martha, 2 seconds after that, Batman's like, your mother will not die. Like, that's a line.
Yeah.
He says that. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
So we just watched the trailer now. Like, listen, we're all going to... If you think this is a fun episode, wait till the movie review.
I'm excited. I'm actually kind of excited to watch this.
Me too, because like the thing is like we know that the Dark Side plot, which was either removed or was never actually going to happen in Justice League, they're bringing it in full force, and we know that the Batman the dream sequence with the Joker is going to be this big expanded thing. Like all the stuff they filmed with Jared Leto, like it seems like it's not going to be much, but that's all new. Jared Leto was not in the original version of this movie. It was laughable. That last thing, like, listen, the sequence in the Batman vs Superman, the dream sequence where Batman's kind of having this vision of the invasion and Darkseid, and like where he's got the trench coat on, and like it's visually interesting and different than what you would see in like a normal Batman movie. And I'm not rooting against it, but just everything in this trailer just feels like I can't help but hear the echoes of the hardcore Snyder Cut people on Twitter being like, this is incredible. Have you ever seen anything like this? Oh, and you think Endgame's a good movie? And it's like, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, because I cry every time I watch it, and I've watched it so many times. Jared Leto at the end of this trailer looks like he needs to like get to his panel at Dragon Con because his costume's just not that good, and it looks like someone made it.
Right.
It's just not awesome.
But what is it like? I'm a very emotional person. Like I cry on everything. Like I get choked up. What was I watching recently?
Last night we watched Troop Beverly Hills and you cried.
Yeah, I was like choked up. Like
Ladybugs we watched the night before and you also cried.
Well, I was laughing at Ladybugs because when the kid dresses up as a girl, his name's Martha, and I was like, Martha. But like I do get emotionally invested in movies, and through Man of Steel, Justice League, Batman vs Superman, there's no emotional investment. I don't care. Even when Kevin Costner, who's literally my favorite actor, bites the bullet from a tornado, which is my favorite villain in a movie.
Wanted to see more of the tornado, honestly. Hey, just let Superman fight a tornado.
So what is it though? When you get on Twitter, when you see the Snyder Cut people on there, because I want to understand when they're saying this is the darkest, grittiest, actual portrayal of what a superhero movie should be like. You should all worship at the altar of Zack Snyder. By the way, I have nothing... there are people who have, like, personal vendettas against Zack Snyder. He seems like a very nice person, and, like, I actually am happy that he got to complete his thing, because the odds were against it ever happening.
Yeah, I'm mystified by this whole thing, honestly.
Right, it seems like magic. Mm-hmm. But what is it that people are... I don't want to say that it's that they just want to like it, so they're convincing themselves that it's great, but that's
probably a big that's a big part of it. I mean, I feel like we kind of did that with Answer the Call. Like
Right,
you were
right.
saying that earlier. Like, you know, we definitely had a little bit of a blinders.
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
And,
Rose.
I think that's
glasses.
probably some people. You know, some people probably. But it's like the people who are saying that about this are like, did these people like the last version of Justice League, or are they mad at that? Like, they hated it.
So I think it's one of those things where, like, when that movie came out, it just was kind of like, it was kind of confusing because, like, you didn't really know. Like, some people would say, like, oh, you could tell what Zack Snyder shot and you could tell what John, but like for the most part, it was just like, well, that was what it was. But once Zack Snyder came out and was like, I've never watched that cut, that is not my movie. That's when you started kind of seeing like the wave of support for this new version. When people got it in their head that
there's controversy, kind of.
That
they got to take a side.
Yes. And they've tried to do it with other, like they tried to do it with like Rise of Skywalker, like the JJ cut. But there's no, that was all like rooted in just rumor and hearsay. Not, but once Zack Snyder came out and said,
they kind of like, I think those people kind of created this Snyder Cut out of mostly nothing, because for a while I feel like we didn't do anything but make fun of people whenever they posted like
oh yeah, we didn't think it was
Snyder
real.
Cut stuff, and it was just like, this is all fake. There's not a Snyder Cut.
We did a whole episode about it.
I'm actually still thinking it's
manifested
fake.
into an actual thing, which is insane.
Right. Well, Abby, let me get you chiming in here. You're a fan of you're a fan of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But you don't have a dog in the race like Marvel. This is not a Marvel versus DC.
I think that DC fans, the loud ones on Twitter, do have a dog in the race.
Okay.
Because there's a level of competition and a level of wanting to stick it to Marvel fans that I think outweighs whether or not the DC films are even good.
Well,
That's a big thing. People, there are people that just think it has to be DC or Marvel.
Yeah.
They think you can't. It's like people who
sports
think
mentality.
You have to pick. It's like people who think you have to pick soup or a salad, you know?
Right.
Why not both?
I was trying to.
Oh, I like that.
I was gonna say Star Trek and Star Wars, but
super salad.
That's great. Can I get you started with anything? Okay.
But you do see these people. They're like they see a picture of Gal Gadot and they go, okay. So you're telling me you like Brie Larson and don't like Gal Gadot? It's just like it's not.
No, it's not one or the other. Like that is not how that's not how I look at it.
Right.
I'd like to be able to enjoy them all.
And by the way,
there's definitely a level of competition.
We're talking specifically about the Snyder DC movies right now because Aquaman we all collectively did not enjoy.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
No. Not good.
Enjoyed the first Wonder Woman, despised the second one. Same for you, I think.
Yeah.
Jake, you hate both.
They both are bad, yeah.
But I'm excited for Flashpoint.
The second one's way worse.
But I am excited for Flashpoint because
but you know what? I've been like, you know, I know we're talking a lot of shit about DC, but I've been rewatching Batman the Animated Series because it's on HBO Max, and it's literally the best.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's the best possible thing that it could be. I've been watching hours and hours of it at a time, and I'm just like, well, who wrote this? Why can't these people make a movie? Because it's all handled so, like, everything is handled so well in that show. And it's like, it's completely, like, confusing why that show can be so good. And it's like, well, why make a movie? Give these people, who wrote this? Give them a movie, write a script, do something.
But Abby, so when you, as a fan of the MCU and somebody who's maybe not enjoyed these DC movies, but maybe you don't really have like an affiliation, you didn't like grow up an Iron Man fan, like it's just. So what is it like as an objective?
Well, I imagine for these people that we're talking about, they did grow up, and some of it is like their identity is woven into being DC fans.
Right.
I don't want to like assume anything else about them other than maybe that's something that they have that they're holding on to, and it's a platform to be heard when you're on Twitter to be able to like put your opinion out on something. So
I wish we knew somebody that was like a
defender of this.
Like a diehard defender of the DCU, because it would be interesting to
like we've got friends.
I mean, them on.
Here's the thing, and Ryan and John, who are our great friends, are hardcore DC fans who have
but
no patience for these movies.
Yeah. Like, Ryan won't even watch We can't even get Ryan to watch the trailer.
He's never watched Aquaman.
He won't even watch the trailer.
And he worked on it. I think he did the VFX for Aquaman.
Yeah.
No, maybe not. But so as somebody so that's where we get into that conversation about who is this movie for? Because if you showed a regular everyday moviegoer that trailer, it doesn't tell you anything. It's just it's a montage of scenes from the movie and a really bad voiceover from Jesse Eisenberg, still doing his thing.
I think what's always been super weird to me, and you said it a few minutes ago about Batman versus Superman, is that the reason the first Avengers movie works is because there are, I don't know, 5 or 6 movies ahead of it that set it up. Mm-hmm. And they did Man of Steel, and then they immediately did Batman versus Superman, and that was supposed to kind of be their Avengers movie, and it didn't work. So they made Justice League. They're like, let's try it again. And then Justice League didn't work, so they're like, oh, I'll do it again. Another Justice League movie. And it's they keep trying to make an Avengers style, movie, and there's absolutely zero build up.
It's like when you start out making fried eggs, and then you mess up, so you make them scrambled.
Right, and it's still something. No, but listen, there's this movement now that Snyder Cut is going to be exclusive to HBO Max. It's not going to be. I don't think it's even getting a theatrical release, and Warner Brothers has kind of come out and said this is going to be the button on this Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. Now, clearly, there's aspects of it that are going to move forward because we know that Wonder Woman is getting a third movie. Same Wonder Woman. We know that there's. Is it? Yeah, they announced that. We know that Flashpoint is coming, and they've already announced that Ben Affleck's going to be in that movie in some capacity. We know that. Obviously, it's Ezra Miller playing the Flash. We know that that's going to be the thing that maybe resets all of this. And then we've got Robert Pattinson doing Batman with Matt Reeves, and that's going to be Can we
watch that trailer? Watch that trailer.
Can we?
That's a good trailer.
Here's the thing that's confusing.
That's a Batman I can get behind.
We know that James Gunn has Suicide Squad coming, which technically does take place in this universe, and is also getting John Cena, the Peacemaker, his own show. So I feel like the hardcore Zack Snyder fans are mad because they're like, look how we want our thing to go forward while everything else seems to be kind of moving. So what they're doing is all these things. They're instructing people to stream the trailer all day, show HBO. Stop.
That sounds really reminiscent of 2016.
Yeah, I know. If everybody just goes out and buys 2 tickets. So it's kind of a. It's kind of a big.
We shouldn't have to help the movies.
I think my final thought on it, or it's not going to be my final thought, is that I'm glad that if you're a hardcore Zack, if you have a passion for this movies and Zack Snyder's vision, today's a great day for you.
Yeah.
But I personally don't understand it. I just don't. It doesn't get me going. Doesn't get me excited. So.
It's a joyless mess.
Is there anything in the trailer that we need to talk about? Because we didn't really talk any specifics from the trailer. Is there any scenes in there?
Because there aren't any specifics from the trailer. They're all. I mean, it's the Justice League trailer, but with some extra stuff thrown in. It's it's just all slow motion.
So that's me.
It's look how orange and brown that is. Why does it look like that?
Well,
yeah.
Listen, it takes place in Georgia in the red clay.
No.
What is it about this thing where people are like...
It's like they filtered it because it's trying to be something else, which is essentially the problem.
There's an argument that comes from the hardcore Snyder fans that they say, oh, Marvel is so light and bubbly and jokey. Look how dark this is. And it's just
I can't wait until we get some 2-star reviews because of this episode.
I cry my eyes out watching Marvel movies, specifically Endgame and
Jake sent me this comment from IGN earlier. This guy, I want to read this. He says,
"Well, go ahead. I want to say before you read that a listener sent that to me. A friend of mine, Trapper Harvey, sent.
Okay, cool. Thank you. This comment says, every time I watch Zack's DC films and then go back to the MCU, I often cry of just how bad they are compared. You don't cry. You cry because of Marvel movies are bad. How bad they are compared to Zack's. He made my viewing experience so high that I just can't endure the pain of suffering watching those corny Marvel films. The serious moments of those films end up with unfunny forced jokes. They are just so horrible.
That's petty. That's petty and petty and petty.
You know what? I have one thing to say to that.
Okay.
Booyah.
Emphasis on the
Fuck
boo.
out of here.
By the way,
fuck out of here.
you know what? Get
out of my face.
Ray Fisher, he was great in what was it? True Detective season 3. I do think he's a pretty good actor. I do not enjoy the cyborg character in the first Justice League, but I will say on record that he is being his situation, the way he's being handled by Warner Brothers, being cut out of it's fucked up.
There's some junk happening.
What a fucked up opportunity.
Yeah. So
literally.
Yeah. But anyways, so but also booyah.
Can I just say that in order to have emotional investment in something, there has to be characters that I like, and there has to be moments that are worth fighting for, that are good moments, and DC movies don't have those kind of moments.
I can't believe it's 2021 and we're still talking about Justice League movie.
But Abby's 100% right. Like what it is that when you have Marvel, I'm using the Marvel films because it's Marvel and DC. But any movie, right? There's downtime and there's scenes in movies that make you care about the characters or the friendships or the relationships. There's shit like Hawkeye. It is having to watch his whole family disappear and all this just all that kind of stuff. Right. But the DC movies just jump right in.
Right.
They just jump right in, and right away. It's like, oh, Wonder Woman, Steppenwolf. Blah, blah, blah. There's no time to really give a shit about.
Well, and also levity is a very important part of actual real life. Like I can't think of a serious moment in my life.
Human beings cope with the depressing and the difficult is with levity, which is why the Marvel movie back and forth dichotomy of that works so well.
Right.
Of laughing and then crying. And it's very upsetting when you watch.
All right, well, let's
go through some more of this.
So they got this long slow-mo. I feel like this entire episode's a nightmare for you, by the way. Are you okay?
Why?
Because I know you just hate this so much.
I just hate these movies.
Okay,
yeah. Well, I was starting to think about Wonder Woman, and I was like, well, they had ample opportunity to put levity in or to beef her character up because they have flashback scenes in 84 and in the first one.
Don't kid yourself. The Zack Snyder fans also don't like the Wonder Woman movies because they think Zack Snyder should be directing them. Okay. This long slow motion. Hold on, real quick. Look at that shot. Look at this picture of Superman.
It's how we all feel on the inside.
Yeah, that's how Superman. That's how you want Superman portrayed. He's like when you think about Superman, you just think about him howling in slow motion.
Okay. All right. So then it kind of fades to black here, and then we start seeing I think the Lord of the Rings thing that people were talking about. You got the city's on fire. It all looks like cutscenes from a video game. And then I think this must be on the Amazon planet. Where's not planet island?
Planet.
Where's she from? Where's one of
I can't remember the name of the place.
She's Amazonian. She works for Amazon. Makes $15 an hour. So yeah, it's just like these long shots. As a Batman fan, I got to say I'm still interested in seeing some of the stuff. I do. And by the way, on record, Ben Affleck is also my favorite actor.
This looks bad. That looks bad.
Okay,
right? That looks bad.
Steppenwolf.
And he looked bad in the last movie, but this all these CGI Darkseid, all these fully CGI characters look like
it looks like The Hobbit.
They look like they're out of early Mortal Kombat games.
Right. Mm-hmm. Early Mortal Kombat. We're talking MK1 here. So
that was in Justice League.
Right. Some of this stuff is in the first Justice League movie. And it's essentially the same movie. I mean, it's still going to be Batman putting this team together in the wake of the death of Superman. What I'm really interested in seeing is how they handle the resurrection of Superman and how that plays out differently than it did. And I feel like I think the third act of this movie is going to be well, does a 4-hour movie have a third act? The 10th act of this movie is going to be
the fourth act.
So Yeah, there it is. Abby, you like Amy Adams.
Yeah.
What do you think of her portrayal of Lois Lane?
It's not what I need it to be. It's not magnetic. I don't think it earns like the depth of their love that you feel like they're trying to say, like, this is like there's such a special relationship that he would save her and risk other lives, and it's just something about that bathtub scene in Batman vs Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Makes me uncomfortable.
The Zack Snyder, the director's cut of Batman vs Superman, when Clark gets in the bathtub with Amy Adams, there's totally a nipple shot.
There's almost
for no reason.
Again, not really how you want to see Lois Lane.
Oh, Lois Lane. All right. So yeah, I don't know. Like we're all gonna watch it day one, and I'm still intrigued to see how this all plays out. But I remember that whole sub story in the first Justice League of like the Flash's dad being in jail. Like I just was like, I don't care. I couldn't care less. All right. Yeah, this is just a lot of. It looks like maybe they're just showing off all the VFX that are being added to this movie.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's going to be big and loud and pretty at times, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see the DC movies going forward. I'm sorry, the Zack Snyder world.
Yeah.
But this last scene with the Joker is just pathetic. It just sucks. Yeah. Like I'm not mad that the Joker's in it, but like look at that. That doesn't look. What is that?
Family Values tour.
He looks like he's wearing something over his. It's weird to me, and he doesn't have any of his tattoos anymore, which
right.
is like, all right. I mean, I guess it's a dream sequence, so Joker can look however they want him to.
Right.
But he looks like he's wearing something over his entire face, and then there's makeup on top of that.
Right.
It's just, it does look like a bad costume. His hair is like a weird wig. I don't know.
Like, no, Jake, I know you disagree with me on this, but again, like I feel like I'm defending myself against the angry comments that are coming. Suicide Squad, not super into that movie. I didn't think Jared Leto in that movie was as bad as like.
Oh, when's the last time you watched that? Because I watched it days ago.
Yeah.
I watched Suicide Squad days ago.
Okay.
I was like, hey, you know what? I haven't seen this since I saw it in the theater.
Okay.
I'm going to give this movie another chance.
Okay.
And as I was watching it, there were two things that I really thought were like. They do this thing where a lot of times they were like, let's make it a music video all of a sudden. And that kind of stuff I thought was bad. But the Joker in that movie is awful. Okay. All of the Jokers, every bit of the Jokers. If they took the Joker out completely, and maybe changed a few other things around, that movie's watchable too. I was like, hey, I was like, Will Smith is good in this.
Yeah,
I was like, Will Smith is kind of fun to watch. I don't really care about Harley Quinn at all, but like,
she's not fun to watch.
The plot is not an awful plot,
right?
It's like I was like, this is fine, but the Joker shit is like cringy to watch. Go watch that again. I challenge you.
You challenge me.
A Valentine's Day challenge.
It's a Valentine's Day challenge on Yes Have Some podcast.
How far can we make it? There's Suicide Squad.
Well, Jake, this is the most Jake has talked about between the tattoos and this Joker speech. Man, Joker Jake, new name.
He's real DC guy.
Never say it again.
Joker.
One thing I did want to do before we get wrapped up with this is look at some of the. That's not what I was going to do.
Cool. What was that?
Cool.
I thought I had Twitter lined up to look at some of the commentary going on about the Snyder Cut, but it is now. Sorry, everybody. I'm not very professional. While I do this, Abby, have you been thinking about any more restaurant metaphors in the meantime?
No. I was just going to try and get a why so serious at some point to Jake.
Okay.
His Joker
yes.
I have not thought of any more metaphors.
Let's take a look at the Twitterverse and see what's going on as far as commentary.
Other than if DC were a restaurant, I would not go back.
Okay. So what we're going to do is scroll through some tweets here. Jordan HC hashtag Snyder Cut, which is his Twitter name. So I have a feeling he's going to like this. He says, at Zack Snyder.
Wait. Hashtag Snyder Cut is in his name?
It's his name.
Oh my God.
He says, at Zack Snyder only has one speed, perfection. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna like Snyder Cut because if I'm being honest, none of his hero movies have been that great to me. Okay,
when the cop pulls you over, you gonna tell him you thought you were going perfection? That's how fast you were going.
You know how fast you were going back there?
Perfection.
Zack Snyder.
Perfection.
Two blade.
Let's see. We didn't even talk about the aspect ratio, by the way, that this movie is in 3/4, not widescrreen.
Why? Why is it like that?
I think it was filmed in 3/4. I don't know. From what I was hearing.
Okay, again, I pose the question: why? Is that like just some art thing?
It's an art thing.
More artsy.
Let's see here. Marvel could fucking never deliver something this beautiful. OMFG. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay. And then. But the clip that he's referencing was a Steppenwolf bowing to Darkseid. Or I think that's who that is. Okay. Cool. Imagine that being your first thought. Your reaction to something is to put something else down. That
says more about you and like your insecurities with what you're into versus what's out there, like competition.
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched Beverly Hills Cop, my reaction was like, take that, other buddy cop movies.
Like,
fuck you.
Hey, just maybe it's okay to like the Marvel movies too. Like, you can like them both. Somebody
says the Snyder Cut CG still looks terrible. Okay. They might enjoy this episode. I'm trying to do a few more. I was looking for some like hot takes, but I'm not really seeing. Zack Snyder Justice League cut on HBO. That's a belated Valentine's gift. Okay.
They should have named this cut The Leftovers.
Overall, people on Twitter seem excited about it. You're going to see a kind of a.
And I'm not here to rain on people's parade because I don't like the artistic style that they like. I think I have some deeper reasons why I don't like these movies, and we've just talked about it.
So, anyways, Superman. God, man, I don't know. I'm happy. As somebody who considers himself a pretty hardcore fan of a lot of things like Ghostbusters and Star Wars and all that stuff, like I'm happy for the people who are excited about it. But that I have to say what I gotta say.
But it's gonna be awful. Yeah, Jake, it's like I'm kind of also happy that it's happening, but on multiple levels. Like
it's very layered.
I think it's cool for them to like give a director another chance at something. It's unheard of to be like, hey, this movie came out, let's make another version of this same movie. Like that's weird, but also like it happened. This happened to happen to a movie that was trash and looks like trash. So it's like, I don't know.
Apparently, Jared Leto just tweeted, "We live in a society." So,
oh my
god. Having said all of this, I'm extremely excited for Robert Pattinson's portrayal as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
gimme. This will just make that look even better. So,
cool. I feel like we're opening up some doors this week. Who knows what's going to come through? It's like, I don't know.
I'm not trying to be too salty. It's just
this is a salty episode. This is an hour of just us talking shit.
I thought we were going to talk about this trailer for like 10 minutes. I was scared we weren't going to be able to film it.
I'm happy that people are happy on Twitter, but I don't like spiteful joy where you have to like make a dig at the other.
I saw one earlier. There was a picture of Cyborg. They were like, if you accept Iron Man, then you have to accept this. I'm like,
nope,
what?
No, you don't.
What is that?
Are they trying to convert me? Like, why do I have to accept him?
That's what it is. I mean, listen. All serious talk.
Proselytizing.
We live in a very interesting time in the history of the world where.
Don't you mean a society?
I was gonna say, don't.
We live in an interesting time where like people can kind of make up their own mind and go with their own narrative and then try to fight against another narrative. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody who's like a Marvel fan is sitting here like trying to battle like the DC people. I feel like the DC, I think, you know, one of our friends, I don't remember who said it, could have been Ryan, made a really good point that he thinks a lot of it is that people just love Batman and love these characters so much. And the fact that they haven't been given the same maybe platform to succeed it kind of makes you
envious,
a little bitter or something. But anyway, so we've covered this a lot, and I don't want to stay on what could be a controversial topic too long. So I think we should maybe pivot over to talking about Gina Carano and Cara Dune.
Perfect.
And then we'll get the other half of the internet.
Not my bodyguard.
We're not. I honestly don't think there's much to say. Like, it is what it is. People have various opinions. I think the unfortunate thing, I'm just going to say it. I think that the people that are, it sucks for the fans. If you're a fan of Mandalorian and you liked that character, it's not a great situation for you. It sounds like she's, I don't know, she has a lot to say, and I don't agree with the things she's saying, but it's just a touchy thing. So I don't know.
Congrats to all the employed women on The Mandalorian.
There you go.
So I've seen that tweet going around, that meme.
Yeah.
But
it's tough though. It's tough, and I just don't think there's much to explore there. There's plenty of places on the internet to have those conversations.
Yeah, and there's plenty of other things to like about Mandalorian besides her. So
yeah, you got Duke Skykiller, all that stuff.
Hey, let me just say one thing. Like, from the start, I saw a tweet that I thought was very funny, and I don't remember it exactly, but I've kind of been saying this since the first episode she was in. And it was like, let's all not forget that, besides what she's saying, what's happening with her right now, she's the worst actor on that show. She's like an awful actor. She sucks. Good riddance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's
always been the worst part of Mandalorian. Like, yeah, she's cool or whatever, and like the character, she can kick ass and everything. That's great, but like, she cannot. That's why she barely has any lines. She sucks at it.
All right. Jake has said it. Jake has said what he needed to say.
Yeah.
I have spoken.
I feel like physically, like, she really did fill the role, and on screen, like, her presence being there was more than acceptable to the point of maybe making the show even better. But her acting skills were never there. There was more just grunting and 3 or 4 words of dialogue. So I never considered her like a character that I was attached to or like identified with. I know that stuff kind of started with her way back. Like, it was been going on for a while, and it didn't really detract from me being able to watch and enjoy the last season of Mandalorian. And I think
I'll say this. Let me say,
it's what's going to happen if you.
I don't want to just toe the company line. Like, I know we work for Lucasfilm, but let's listen. I am. Anybody who knows me, I'm pretty vocal about it. My political leanings are left. I am a liberal person, but I also I've got friends on all sides of the aisle, and I like having open-minded, logical political discourse with people and trying to find common ground and just having good conversations. I really do. I really enjoy it. I think the issue with Gina Carano is that it doesn't seem like that is what her motives were. It didn't seem like she had a viewpoint and was willing to maybe talk, learn, educate, be educated. It seems like she was more interested in pushing buttons and seeing how far she could go. And she went. You work for Disney. At the end of the day, you work for a major corporation that's not going to sit by and just let somebody represent. And that's not for just TV and that's everywhere. That's every job you ever work. Like, if they don't like the things that you're saying, if it could be putting them in a bad light, like, you're going to be gone. Like, so you can call it cancel culture. And I've seen people saying, well, that's not fair. Look what happened.
If it was cancel culture, she would have been canceled back when the pronouns thing happened. You know what I mean? Like, she's said there's been a lot of things.
Right.
And everything she has said up to this point has been like, you know what? Maybe we don't agree with her. She's got a right to be an asshole or whatever, or have her own thoughts. But it got to a point where the last thing she posted was a little over the fucking.
Well, listen,
you know,
listen.
especially for Disney, was like, hey, we're done. Like, it's
Right.
not a cancel culture thing. We've given you chance after chance, and
Right.
you know, she could have been set the rest of her life being, you know, a major character in Star Wars, and
Right.
she fucking wanted to talk about Nazis. And shit,
I
so.
think
Right.
I think as a Jewish person, not a religious person, but if somebody of Jewish bloodlines, Goldberg, by the way, very very powerful.
Goldberg.
My dad, my whole life, Craig, it's a very powerful name. I'm like, I'll keep that in mind next time I'm in a fight. Like, I'm a Goldberg. I'm a Goldberg. It's powerful name.
Don't hit me.
But I think there's danger anytime. If you live in America in 2020 or 2021, if you live in America, no matter Republican, Democrat, left, right, you're an actress, you're on Star Wars, you're probably pretty well off financially. Let's not compare anything to the Holocaust. Let's just not go there. Let's not compare anything having to do with genocide with our own. You might
Be careful what you equate, especially.
Yeah, like
know what your own experience and journey is. In comparison.
You might feel like your political views are being silenced or ignored or whatever, but there's just certain lines you just don't want to cross, and like it is what it is. And I know there's a lot of varying opinions about it. We don't have to go any further. But I also think there is one thing I want to say. I've seen people bring up the James Gunn stuff, like when he had all those tweets and then he got let go by Disney and then they brought him back. Like, you hear this in law a lot. Intent is everything. Like, what was James Gunn's intent with those tweets? Did he
get
really
a laugh out of
Did he really
friends.
intend to like go hurt children? Like, no.
Also, those tweets that was something that happened a long time
10 years ago, 12. Right.
She's saying this shit right now.
Right.
In continuing.
So she went from almost getting her own show on Star Wars to being let go by Disney, by being like by Lucasfilm. She was let go by her management, and it's like at the end of the day, if I was going to have a conversation with Gina Carano, the first thing I would ask her is, what is the cause you're fighting for? Like, what is the hill that you're willing to die on and put your career on the line? Like, what? Because to me, I don't want to wear a mask and I don't want to be told what to do. That's not a cause. That's not a fucking cause. That is just, that's not a political statement. If there's a pandemic, you wear a mask because it happens to be a respiratory disease. That's not like, if you think that you're being oppressed, then it's hard for me to have that logical conversation. Like, it's only political if it's made to be political. I don't care who, like, I know people who voted for Donald Trump, they still wear a mask because they don't want to get sick. Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, if I were to talk to Gina Carano, I would probably want to say, like, this sounds like, I'd want to ask what Craig just asked, like, what is the goal here?
Stealing my questions.
What's the cause? But also, the medium that you're delivering your feelings on, it's not appropriate. Take this into a therapist's office. Take this into a close friend's. Like, talk about your feelings relating to this, not in a way that's polarizing or that is like marginalizing or making people feel smaller, not understood. I think I don't know, honestly, because it's like part of it is like, is it for attention? Is it because you wanted to get Ted Cruz's approval or like a large group of people to support you? It doesn't really there's not like a cause for good or for it feels,
it doesn't feel like
small, petty, and like small-minded.
Yeah.
Well, some people are just stupid.
Yeah.
You know, that's just it.
Right.
We can sit here and have a discussion about it forever, but some people are just idiots.
Because I'll say that I'm not super into cancel culture. Anytime like some comedian says something,
it's annoying.
Like that, or like when people dig up like old shit, like that's like, I think it's the dangerous part of social media is where people are out to get people and things are sometimes taken out of context, or like, listen, I used to do stand-up comedy. I did stand-up comedy for 3 years. I said some crazy shit. I'm glad none of it was recorded. Like,
I think it's stupid when it's like that, when it's old stuff like that. But the only time canceling somebody works is like if it's like legitimately somebody who's causing harm and it's happening now. If it happened 10 years ago, then it happened 10 years ago. In that time, have they been, then whatever, like leave it in the past. But like, you know, we're canceling Marilyn Manson right now, but we're canceling Marilyn Manson because we're finding out that he's been like, you know, raping and torturing people for the last 25 years.
Right.
She's getting canceled because she is currently saying things that are like harmful to, you know what I mean? It's like, it's different. There's a difference between that stuff and like canceling somebody for a tweet from 12
have you
years
guys
ago.
seen the meme? Like, it's like all the Marilyn Manson stuff, and it's just like Christian moms from the 90s just sipping on their tea.
Yeah, we knew it. All right,
but yeah,
y'all got that one.
So I listen, in this conversation, I didn't even plan on getting into this, but this is not to, like, if you're out there and you have a different view, like, that's okay. Like, we've always said, like, this is not a political podcast by any means. Like, we all have views, like, we're human beings with opinions and views, but this is not to, like, what I would like people to do more than anything is just, like, let's all think, let's have thoughts. Like,
do no harm.
Like, Pedro Pascal is by all accounts a wonderful human being, but I'm sure he's done and said stuff that's stupid too. But like, when people start doing the, oh, what about this, what about that, what about this, it's just like, listen, we're not talking about that right now. We're trying to figure out what the motivation was for this person to essentially put their career and livelihood on the line. Like, that's why I would say, what is the cause? What do you, like, what is it? If you think the election was stolen, okay, maybe you think the election was stolen. What do you, like, are you conversing about it? Are you talking to people from all sides of the aisle to learn factual information? But the ignorance of factual information leads people down weird paths. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about,
know your place when you have that much influence.
I guess. So listen, we've covered some ground.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't. Get back to the Valentine's Day fun.
All right. Okay, I got one. I got nothing. I
got coupons for all of you.
Why don't you? I was going to tell Abby to plug group therapy, but Jake has something to say.
I went to the movies yesterday.
What?
Oh my God! Let's hear about this.
I went to the movie theater for the first time in a year. Almost exactly a year.
Yep.
Wow.
And what was the last movie you saw? What was it?
Birds of Prey.
Yikes.
Birds of Prey, which was like exactly a year ago.
Right
around this time. I found out that my movie theater has been open for a little bit, but there's not a lot of new movies. But I was driving by and they had on the marquee TMNT 1990, and I was like, "What?" So I looked it up, and it's part of the flashback thing that they do. Like, it's something they've been doing for years. The Georgia Theater Company movies show in like a different old film every week,
right?
And, they're still doing that. I guess I thought they probably wouldn't be, but they're open and they were showing it. So I went and saw the original Ninja Turtles. Was the only person in the theater.
I love this.
There were other people at the movie theater. I saw a good number of people there, but I was the only one watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on a Saturday at 5:00 in the afternoon.
And how was it?
Amazing.
That's
that
still
movie's
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we've talked about Ninja Turtles before. It's clearly like it's just such a good movie. Everything about it. It was fun to see it. I was 5 when that movie came out. Right. When I saw it in the movie theater the first time, so it's cool seeing it again like that.
Normally, I've been watching that movie for over 30 years, and majority of that time has been on VHS. Like, even now, it's always on VHS. Yeah. So like, anytime I watch it like on DVD, it's like jarring, like, whoa, widescreen. So I can't imagine what seeing it in the theater was like.
Yeah.
It was good and everything, and it looked pretty good except for the flashback stuff. All of the flashback scenes looked really bad, but
like the film transfer, it was grainy, or
it's just like it even when you watch it on your VHS or something, when they show those flashback scenes, they're filmed differently and it's very grainy already. So seeing that on a movie theater, in 2021, it's like, whenever it's all the baby turtle stuff, it's like so grainy and blurry, and it's just like, this looks bad. But the rest of the movie looks really good, and it transferred fine. And
how did Judith Hoag look?
She looks great.
Good.
She looks very good in that movie. She's great.
Yep.
Good.
There you go.
Stuff.
There you go.
I wish we had gone.
Me too. What the fuck?
You guys should have came all the way down
sad.
just to see Ninja Turtles.
We didn't really talk about it.
The Thing last week, yeah.
Oh, We didn't talk about it much on the last anniversary show, but we all went to the Fernbank Museum last weekend.
Yeah.
Saw some dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Very fun.
we sure did. Yeah. They have an IMAX there. We did not go into it.
Yeah, they do have an IMAX, but
It's not IMAX. It's like
okay, I don't need to watch your Glacier movie from 1992.
I want to rent it out and play Jurassic Park, and then we can do like a night
Yeah.
at the museum.
The Fernbank, they call it IMAX, but that's like when I say I've got it's like when people, it's like Michael
A
Scott.
Rolex.
Yeah, when Michael Scott says he's got a plasma screen, he's got the little thing.
yeah.
It's like that. But well, this has been fun. I think this has been a good time. Abby, why don't you let everybody know about Facebook group therapy, all that?
Absolutely. If you want to join our little group, it's called Group Therapy. It's on Facebook. So log in and search for what am I? Yes, Have Some Podcast.
Did you forget the name of the podcast? I
completely forgot. Yeah. What are we called? It's right in front of me. Yes, Have Some Podcast. Group Therapy. It's a closed group. Ask to join. Myself, Craig, Jacob, or Ryan will accept you. And from there, you can post anything but memes, preferably stuff that is related to what we're talking about on the show or what you're buying out there in the wild or trying to buy and can't find or reading or watching. And it's a great community. We support each other and love each other, and you're all my Valentines.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Before we go, I do want to let everybody know we do have our official shirt store that you can go to, belowthecollar.com/YHS podcast. Tons of options, including the YHS Afterlife logo, Toy Anxiety, the #1 Leprechaun podcast, the Persistercist, YHS Ride the Movies, and so much more.
Nice.
And you can support us doing that. And then, of course, we also have the pins, the 5-year anniversary pins that you can still get available at yhspodcast.bigcartel.com. $8 shipped. We clearly appreciate everybody's support. And I guess I should say, lastly, Patreon. Patreon things are happening. You got to go sign up. It's the #1 way that people can support us. It's patreon.com/yeshavesome. We're doing bonus audio content every week for $5 a week. You get complete access to the archive, almost 50 bonus episodes. What are you doing?
It's a heart.
It's a heart?
I'm trying to give a heart to them.
Thank you. It just looks
not
blurry.
working.
Looks blurry.
No,
there you go.
It's working.
I'm in my Patreon plug here. But I want to serious for a second. If you support YHS, if you're into what we do, we sit down and we do bonus audio content all the time, and it's a lot of fun. We did an hour bonus episode a couple weeks ago, did 45 minutes the other day, and like I said, you get complete access to the archive. It's only $5 a month, and people are really into it. You have people on group therapy all the time kind of evangelizing the bonus content. We'll have some more fun and surprises coming soon, and I'm excited about it. So yeah, you can sign up today at patreon.com/yeshavesome, and
Spread the good news.
Spread the good news. God, I'm scared about this episode, honestly.
It was a rough one.
I can tell.
No, well, it wasn't rough. I think we delivered.
Yeah.
Well, we sure.
We always deliver.
We delivered, but I don't know if the people will accept the delivery.
Well, they're going to have to sign for it.
Yeah. Abigail, any final thoughts?
I love you all.
Okay.
And that's it.
Jacob, final thoughts?
All very special to me.
No, I don't want to talk about Justice League anymore.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
Or politics.
I think
That's more
it's just-
politics than I've ever. I didn't sign up for politics.
you know what? You did pretty good.
Yeah,
I was
between
impressed.
Because I
Justice
didn't really talk to her.
No, you
I just
talked.
let you do it.
Hey, one more thing. Guess what's right after Justice League? Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep. Godzilla, Kong. Basically, Godzilla versus Kong.
Two Kongs, one Godzilla.
Did you see that? Never mind.
All right, look at that.
Look at that.
Could be a spoiler. Never mind.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it for next time. For Abigail Gardner, Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg.
Think before you speak.
Think before you speak. And if you're excited about Justice League, I'm happy for you. If you don't want to care about it, then don't. Whatever.
Either way, you're part of our community.
Either way, we love you.
Happy Valentine's.
All right, bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.